More government intervention in the housing market. This time the BC government is overhauling the way local governments approach municipal zoning. While the headlines have primarily been about the crackdown on short-term rentals, the announcement made on November 1st aimed at making it easier to deliver the missing middle of housing units, such as townhouses, triplexes, and laneway homes, is significant. So what are the changes? Firstly, all properties will be permitted a secondary suite or laneway home, and in the more populated municipalities, local governments will be forced to update their zoning bylaws, allowing 3 to 4 units on a single family lot, size dependent, and even 6 units permitted on larger lots that are currently zoned for single family or duplex use. Not only will municipal governments be required to change the zoning bylaws to reflect this, but they will need to regularly update their community plans so that they keep pace with the housing demands. The goal of the legislation is to also eliminate one-off public hearings for housing rezoning requests, assuming they align with the official community plans. The government is obviously trying to make it as easy as possible to create more housing units, and doing so by increasing density. While increasing the supply of housing will lighten the insane demand on markets in BC's major cities like Vancouver and Victoria, there will also be some consequences of the changes that we will need to be mindful of. The concern is that this policy change will increase land values even further, which certainly won't help affordability. Typically, when land is rezoned to a higher density, we see the value of that parcel increase as it now has latent or potential value attached to it. This is referred to as land lift. So what happens when all properties in the province receive this at the same time? Firstly, this will take the land lift potential away from developers, who typically like to take the property through the rezoning phase so that they are the ones capturing the land lift profits. It's why you will see developers go through the process to only then sell the property to the person that's going to do the actual building. While it sounds like a great idea to allow homeowners to capture the land lift rather than developers, it also means that developers have a lower profit margin and incentive to go ahead with the building projects that this policy is attempting to motivate. In 2017, Kelowna tried something similar on a smaller scale, and the result was that it was generally homeowners selling directly to builders, resulting in hundreds of new units. This was only possible by essentially pre-approving certain fourplex designs that allow smaller builders backed by less resources and experience to successfully take on the project normally completed by the larger developers. We must also consider that the reason upzoning lots has historically led to such a large land lift is the scarcity that municipalities such as Victoria has made available for upzoning. This is being removed from the equation. Also to be factored into the discussion is that not all properties will see an increase in value by the rezoning due to location. There's less demand for density the further out of the town you get, where a single family dwelling may be the highest and best use. Also to be factored into the discussion that not all properties will see an increase in value by the rezoning due to their location. There's less demand for density the further out of town you get, where single family dwelling may be the highest and best use. There will also be constraints such as cost of labor and materials, meaning that it's not feasible for all lots to actually take advantage of the upzoning. While the province-wide upzoning won't have the same effect per individual lot that upzoning a handful would, we will still expect some increase in land value, making now a good time to buy before we really see the impact of these changes. In the end, Victoria desperately needs to increase its density. We are in a unique position, blocked off by ocean on most sides, and an infamous mountainous highway at the north end that only allows for spread out growth so far, especially considering we all love our nature and want to keep as much of it as possible. This leaves us with building in a more dense way, higher with more condos, or by increasing the dwellings per single family lot. Let's just hope the infrastructure won't lag 20 years behind.